Hi you guys, this video is from my new Aurora Borealis mountain pattern. The pattern is now available in my Etsy shop as a PDF, and here are the materials that I use. If you want to know how I print the design on my fabric, go to my other YouTube video. So before we get started, all of the floss will be split in half for this entire pattern. So it's all stitched with 3 strands. So with color number 1, we're going to be starting in the sky, and we're going to be doing a long and short stitch. So for this first shape for color 1, we're going to just be doing vertical stitches, and we're not going to be going outside of the line with the bottom outline, but we can go a little bit shorter and a little bit longer than the outline on top. Mostly we want it to kind of be like a jaggedy line. We don't want the stitches to be exactly next to each other, so the shape on the top is more of a general outline. It doesn't have to be exact. You'll see at certain points I go a little bit higher up and a little bit lower, and that's why they call it long and short stitch. Basically it's just long and short stitches, and it's great for blending and making kind of natural organic shapes. If you're nervous about making the lines completely vertical, I would suggest that you get a ruler and draw yourself guidelines all the way across, like vertical lines all the way across the pattern if you want to make sure that you're going completely vertical. I never get too concerned with it because I think it's gonna look good no matter what. I rarely redo my stitches, but as you can see with this stitch, I stitched them a little too far apart and not quite aligned across the bottom, so I just went in and did another stitch. That's how I prefer to correct it. And we're just going to continue this for the whole color, generally following the line across the bottom and on top, but you can again go a little bit above and a little bit below on that top line. We just want to make that kind of jaggedy line that would look like an Aurora Borealis. I am going to speed it up now just because it's the same long and short stitch for this whole color, and then I'll slow it down when I start the second color. It will be a long and short stitch again, but just to show how I kind of blend it together. Also, full disclosure, the first color and a half of this YouTube video is stitched on a slightly smaller hoop because I lost my first 2 videos, so I had to re-stitch it. So in the middle of the second color, it will go to a larger hoop and you'll be able to see the border, and yeah, just so you understand that little change in the video. And on to color number 2. As I mentioned before, we are just going to be continuing to use long and short stitch. And as I also mentioned before, I am using a smaller hoop just for part of this color. So this little bit right here is a little hard to watch because I'm stitching super close to the bamboo hoop. Sorry about that. And this is me also trying to untwist the string a little bit. It's best for it to lie flat, so every time I see it twisting up, I'll try to fix that. But basically we're just doing long and short stitches. Once again, as you can see right here, I'm stitching a little bit below the line, and then I'm probably gonna stitch a little bit above the line, and I'll just keep going like that. But when we get to the part where I'm going into the yellow stitches, I like to start my stitches at the bottom. So I will usually stitch right next to it, as you can see right here. And then sometimes I even go through that bottom stitch because I want it to blend perfectly. So I don't want to be seeing any of the fabric in between the two different colors. I want it to kind of seamlessly go into the next color and create that Aurora Borealis look. And I am going to speed it up again, and halfway through the green it will switch to the other bigger hoop, and it will be that hoop for the rest of the video. I also won't be making very many other comments for the sky, just a little bit here and there, and then I will give instructions again for the mountain, just because there's not much else that's different about the sky. There's only 2 stitches for the whole hoop. And here we are in the slightly bigger hoop. You can see the border all the way around the edges. This isn't a great bamboo hoop that I'm using, so it doesn't exactly stretch the fabric as much as I want, but I try to adjust it throughout the video, and at the very end I pull it as tight as I can. Just continuing with color number 6, we are going to go along the bottom. It's basically going to be the same stitches as the top. We're just flipping it. So again, not much blending with the color above, but we are going to go a little bit jaggedy along the bottom outline. And color number 7 is my favorite color because basically you're just filling in the blank spots in the sky, and it's pretty satisfying, not gonna lie. Like I mentioned before, this is a terrible hoop, and even though I tried to center it as best as I could at the very beginning, these top corners aren't tightening very well. It's probably not a very even hoop, and also the screw just like isn't tightening anymore. I even tried to use pliers, so periodically I just stop and try to tighten it as much as I can, and at the very end I'll pull it really tight. Now, starting with color number 8, we're going to be stitching the mountains, and all I'm going to be using are some straight stitches, basic straight stitches, and I just like to fill in the shape, kind of going the direction of the mountain. So as you can see here, it's like at a diagonal, and I'm just going to be filling it in with stitches about that size. They can vary in length, it doesn't have to be perfect, but this is a matter of filling in the space. So you can go outside of the lines a little bit or add extra outside of where it's supposed to be according to the pattern. It's going to look good no matter what. Mountains are not perfectly shaded, as you know, and they go in all different directions, so it's pretty much guaranteed to look good no matter what you do. I will say that in some areas it's pretty small, so you just adjust the size of the stitch to fit in just that area, and don't be too worried about it. You just add more stitches. But you're just continuing that, following the color guide, and you can also take a look at the stitch guide in my PDF pattern to show you kind of the direction that I went in for the stitches. And I'm gonna speed it up right now. just going to be continuing with the next color number 9, doing the same straight stitches, going in the direction that we want them to. Again, you can refer to the stitch direction guide for the mountain, just to kind of follow the direction that I went in, but you can make it your own. And the final color, just filling it in and doing it in the same way with the short straight stitches and following the direction kind of those shadings on the right side of the mountain. So I hope you like it. This is when it comes to life for me. And we're just about done. I just closed up the back of the hoop with a running stitch. I forgot to record it, but it's in lots of my other videos. And I went around twice. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please let me know if you have any questions, and like and subscribe. Thank you.